So Kubernetes follows a declarative style. So declarative style means you declare how our ideal system should look like. And if the current system is not looking like that, Kubernetes will make some changes. It will either add containers, remove containers to match the desired state that you have defined in your config file. So you specify your desired state in your k8s.yml. It can be anything. It can be config, anything that you want, but basically it should be a YAML file. Okay. And then Kubernetes ensures that your current state matches your desired state. If it is not matching, it will take steps to make sure it matches. It may take some few seconds or few minutes or few hours, but it will ensure that eventually your current state matches your desired state. There can be some time lapse in between, but yeah, this is the responsibility of Kubernetes to make sure that your current state matches your desired state. So this is a declarative style of management that Kubernetes uses. You need to define a desired state where in your YAML file, and Kubernetes will ensure it will add pods, remove pods, initialize, upscaling, downscaling, security, services, whatever you want. Okay, to make sure that your current state matches your desired state. Okay, so there are some sections in this YAML. In your Kubernetes config files, there are some sections. Okay, the first one is the deployment section. So in this you define your container image. We learned that image can be pulled from the registry, right? The same image. Number of replicas you want of this image to run, and the update strategy. How fast it should move. If the number of replicas is not matching, how should it move? Okay. So your pods are managed using this. If a pod fails, it is recreated. First, Kubernetes checks what is the current state. Pod has failed. So it will recreate. Why it will recreate? Because the current state expects one pod to be present, or two pods to be present, or five pods to be present. It will create that many number of pods if any pod fails. If a node fails, the pod will be rescheduled. So using this only we can enable rolling updates. By rolling update we mean that suppose you have order service with version 1 deployed and there are 5 instances running. Now you have made some enhancements and there is version 2 available. So first of all, one instance will be replaced by version 2. After a while, second instance will be replaced by version 2, and slowly all 5 instances will be replaced from version 1 to version 2. Okay. Now this was the deployment part that you define in your YAML file. You also define services. Okay. So you know that pods are dynamic. They can be killed by Kubernetes and then recreated by Kubernetes again as well. Okay. So their IP addresses keeps. So services provide a stable endpoint to the pods. Okay. There are some types of services. It can be a ClusterIP. It's used for internal. It can be a NodePort for exposing your service. It can be a load balancer for routing traffic between your similar kind of pods. So there can be many types of services. Okay. Now we learned about deployments and services. We can also configure in our config YAML file. So it manages external access to services. So instead of exposing multiple ports, Ingress provides you URL routing, SSL termination, and also domain based routing. So yeah, Ingress is kind of a file controller for your complete system. It will route based on your service, based on different types of pods available in your system where your request should go. That is configured in Ingress. Now there is another thing that you can configure is your, as the name clearly states, is the map of your configurations. Okay, here you can store environment, some features flag, which means like you want to turn on some feature, turn off some feature. So you can simply update the config map. Kubernetes will check your desired state, compare it with actual state, and if required, it will restart the pod so that it is read the correct value of feature flag, or maybe without restart also, if it is possible, they'll start to get the updated value for feature flag. You can enable some functionalities, true, false, using feature flags, true, false. You can switch between functionalities and other application settings. So basically, doesn't require you externalize these configuration out of your container image, so that you don't have to rebuild your image. Okay, so this is why config maps are used. The fifth one is your secrets. The secrets are used to store sensitive data, your API keys and your certificates. So whatever sensitive data is there, you store using secrets. So these are the key things that is configured in your Kubernetes YAML file. General as a naming convention, people follow k8s.yaml name, but you can give any name that you want. It should be a YAML file. Okay, so now let's go through one of our Kubernetes YAML file. For example, we are seeing about order service. So this is the API version. Which version of the config server you is using? So we are defining two things in this YAML file. First is this deployment that we are defining till here, and second is the service that we are defining here. Okay, so when we see control press on this deployment, there are many things that we can define. We can define a daemon set, we can define a deployment, we can define a replica set, we can set a scale, we can define a stateful set, and controller revision as well. Okay, metadata is simply some additional data. So we have defined here that we want two replicas of our order service. Okay, and this is a selector for identifying our containers. This is the template that it will use, order service template. Okay, and then we are specifying our container image, which Docker image it should use and which port it should run on. So this is our deployment that we have defined here. Similarly, we are defining our service. So inside our pod, it should run an order service. So this is a name which is also identifying other containers can identify this container by this name. And outside 80 port should map to 8080 inside the container. And this is we have defined a ClusterIP so that this service is accessible inside this container. Okay, so this is how we define a YAML file. We have defined YAML file for all other applications, API gateway, authentication service. We have defined for front-end application as well, product service as well. Then we have defined a config map. You can see here, this is our config map. Here we have defined log level, and we have defined a feature flag, feature new checkout, and its value is true. Similarly, we have defined our ingress as well. So this is our e-commerce ingress. So it will route a request with slash products to product service slash orders to order service, both on port 80. So this is, in the front controller that we have defined here. And similarly, we have also defined some secrets. So this is, see it says secret here. So secret we have defined, and then we have DV password and other type of things that we have defined here. Okay, so these are the general Kubernetes YAML file. So first of all, what we need to do is, since we have already installed Minikube, we need to start Minikube. So it is starting our Minikube server, which is our single node Kubernetes cluster. It is starting that. So after that, we need to enable Ingress on our Minikube. So we'll run this command Minikube add-ons enable Ingress. Okay, it has now enabled Ingress as well. Now here, we are checking the pods. So right now you can see only Ingress is running. Okay, only Ingress is running right now. So in Ingress as well, also there is, a controller node and there is an admission node. So there are a couple of nodes. That is why you can see that the controller is running. Okay. Now we are simply configuring Minikube to use our Docker, this Docker here. Okay. So this command sets Minikube to use our Docker, and we have our Docker images already built. Now we will simply apply all these Kubernetes YAMLs. So whatever all the Kubernetes YAMLs that are present here, all them will get applied together. Okay. So when we do this, it has applied Kubernetes configs for all the YAMLs. For all the YAMLs that we have, it has applied the configs. Okay. Now if we do kubectl get pods, kubectl is a Kubernetes command line tool. Like we have Docker CLI, similarly we have kubectl Kubernetes CLI. Okay, so when we do this, you can see it has created 2 nodes for API gateway, 1 node for authentication server, 1 node for frontend, 2 nodes for order service, and 2 nodes for product service. So this way it has created. If we do kubectl get services, you can see these are the services. These are the services on our system. This is their cluster IP. These are listening on these ports, and since when they are active. It's also showing that. We can also kubectl get deployments. So we have created deployment for all these 5 services. You can see that as well. Okay.